You're watching FVTV, and we've got our Grandmaster, most worshipful brother, Richard Elkington. Richard, it's been a long time since we've had a chat. Welcome back.
Thank you, Ash, and thank you to all the brethren watching this particular video coverage. Yes, it's been so long, I've almost forgotten how to do it.
You'll be fine. Now, we're not going to get bogged down in Grand Lodge matters or anything in this conversation, because the main theme is getting back to Lodge in 2022. And boy, people are. Attendance numbers are up, and everyone looks as though they're enjoying their Lodge life.
Well, they sure are. I mean, if there's one thing I've learned in 2 years that I've been in this job, is that most members don't really care that much about what's going on at the senior leadership levels of this organisation. All they want to do is go to their lodge, be with their mates, learn something, and then prove themselves. That's what is important to them. And so you're quite right. Let's not talk about what the Grand Team's doing, what Grand Lodge is doing. Let's talk about the things that really matter to our members, and that is what's happening at Lodge.
Richard, you're at Wonthaggi this week.
I was down in Gippsland, just over the Stresleckies, and I went to a daylight lodge. I must admit, I do like going to daylight lodges, and we installed the Master of Woolamai, which is having its centenary in 3 weeks' time. So it's number 277, so it's an old lodge. There was a bit of fun there. We did things a bit differently. We did it at the lodge's request. And so everybody who went there, I think, had a good time. Isn't that what it's about?
Now, you're travelling all over the state, and in the western suburbs of Melbourne, you made your way to the Western Masonic Centre at Sunshine for the Robbie Burns Phoenix Lodge.
I did. I went to Robbie Burns Lodge, and wasn't too many Scotsmen there. Not very many kilts being worn, but what there was a huge amount of enthusiasm. I think we invested something like 10 stewards, heaps of Master Masons in office, lots of energy, lots of opportunity in that lodge. But it has a high Filipino content to it, but it's not exclusively. So they've got some senior mentors in that lodge to guide them on the right path. So you come away from a lodge like that, you say, well, our fraternity is in very safe hands at a lodge like Robbie Burns Phoenix. And these lodges are replicated right across Victoria. So great deal of enthusiasm, great attendance, down a bit in some areas with officers because of COVID. So COVID is still taking its toll on enthusiasm is there, and rightly so, in my opinion.
Richard, one of your visits most recently was to Lakes Entrance, and there was a presentation there.
Yes, I went there for the vacant chair ceremony, actually, Ash, and whilst I was there, the secretary of the Bairnsdale Daylight Lodge, Jim Jolly, presented me with something that was given to his father back in the 1950s. His father was an exec with an oil company, and he gave me that gift. And it was a 4,000-year-old piece of mud with cuneiform writing on it. The stuff we used to learn about when we were at primary school. It was from Sumeria and Ur. And so we've established the provenance of this, and we also have a translation of that cuneiform writing into English. So this is an extremely valuable, not only intrinsically, but also financially valuable. We've had it checked out to whether it was actually taken, exported from Iraq under the right circumstances, so we've established that. So it's not an antiquity in that sense. So it's not wrong that we have it. but it will occupy ultimately a proud place in a museum, which we are still pursuing together with a Masonic Centre of Excellence. So that's yet another. It was a great night. Partners in attendance, lots of fun, bit of ceremonial, and a number of presentations. So,
Richard, Anzac Day was another case of where you attended the shrine and you laid a wreath.
I did. I actually enjoy doing this. It's not about me. It's about the homage, if you like, that the RSL pays to Freemasonry, recognising that Freemasons were prominent within the armed forces of this country in all conflicts. So I'd say to you, it's a statement of respect from the organisers of the march, which is the RSL. So I presented and laid a wreath on behalf of the members of Freemasons Victoria. And it's something I like doing. There are a number of prominent Freemasons in attendance, including the Marshal of the march, Worshipful Brother Jason Cook of the Army Lodge. And so it was a great day. Bit of an early start to be driving from Traralgon though, but it was a great day of remembrance.
Richard, our time's a little bit limited, so I just thought we might include a couple of the regional visits that you're going to be making. You're going to be in Rutherglen.
I'm in Rutherglen on Saturday, the 20th, I think 21st of May. There's an installation there. I'm very much looking forward to that. There's an installation, an open installation, in fact, at Sunbury on the 28th.
And in coming weeks, you're also going to go to Mildura.
Absolutely. My old mate Alf Green is wishing to be reinstalled for the umpteenth time at Mildura. We're going to try and use that to sort of support the lodge and lodges in Mildura to grow their support. So we're going to try and make it into a bit of a marketing weekend. So I'm very much, and of course, the big event for me was in Wodonga early in the month, where we held a forum. There was a lodge meeting on the Friday night, and there was a forum for Freemasons on Saturday morning, which was very well attended, I might admit. All I did was sat down with the members, made a bit of a presentation about where the organisation is going, and spent 2.5 hours answering questions. So I thought it was a really good event. It's what I like doing. And one of the reasons I'm keen to mention this is I know there's some impetus at Ballarat to do something similar, just to talk about what I do as Grand Master. And I'd invite any lodge or district in Victoria who wants to run a forum with myself or Tony or other senior Freemasons to invite us, because really there's nothing much more important to do than to engage with our own members. And there was no questions that were off the agenda. They can ask anything they like, including issues such as bringing some former members back into the organisation. So I actually would encourage districts and lodges to invite us to your place and have a general discussion amongst the membership.
Richard, time's on the wing, but before we go, let's have a word about the presentation to Father Bob McGuire and his foundation. You contributed a $10,000 payment towards Father Bob, and it's been increased by lodges around Victoria.
Well, I thought there's a number of lessons out of all this, actually, and that is the district coordinator in the Western District of Melbourne, developed a relationship with Father Bob Maguire, who turns a small amount of money into resources for feeding families. And so I thought it was a great cause. Manny put together a meeting of Freemasons in the western suburbs. Bob Maguire was there. I donated $10,000 out of my allocation from the foundation towards this particular fund. I thought it was a great thing to do.
And it's leading to a strategic alliance in other areas of Melbourne.
To a foundation is supporting it. They're very keen to do an alliance with us. We're keen to do an alliance with them. They're meeting real needs amongst those who are in distress. And so I use that word deliberately because it's actually led to a number of other things. But we're seeing districts and even lodges talking about reconnecting with the fundamentals, and that is one of our roles as Freemasons is to look after the interests of our own members. And so we're seeing a re-establishment of distress funds in districts and in lodges, and we're, as an organisation, looking at how we can support those distressed funds at lodge and district level, so that if one of our brethren or their family is in distress, we can meet their needs in a timely way. And if we can't go, one of our fundamentals as Freemasons is to look after our own members. So let's set up a process we can actually deliver on that without having to pass the blanket around, urge people to, ask people for checks and donations. It should be part of the normal way that lodges do business. So I was so congratulations really to district coordinator, and I'll encourage other district coordinators to think of similar initiatives they can take within their districts, because I encourage them to do so.
Richard, time's beaten us. We didn't even get a chance to talk about your visit to Brisbane. That will be for another time. Thank you very much for your time. We've been speaking with our Grand Master, Most Worshipful Brother Richard Elkington. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.